Good Sunday evening. Chief Meteorologist Mallory Schnell here with WHAS 11 in Louisville, Kentucky. Thanks for hopping on this live stream. We're going to talk through some of our severe weather threats this evening, take a deeper dive, look at the radar because we do have a few severe thunderstorm warnings that I want to draw your attention to. One thing I do want to mention is if there is a tornado warning while we are in this stream for our viewing area, for our Kentuckiana viewing area, I will have to hop off here and hop on TV. So just a heads up, if there for some reason is a quick break, that is the reason for that. But in the meantime, we don't have any active tornado warnings for our particular viewing area, so we will go ahead and dive on in. Hope everybody's having a great weekend so far. I know severe storms can be a very anxiety-inducing kind of thing, and I totally understand. So we're going to walk you through this, give you a look at the radar so you know what to expect for the rest of the evening and into tonight. We're taking a live look to downtown Louisville. It's been kind of just a cloudy day out there. We've had some peaks of sunshine throughout the course of the day. Temperatures certainly warming back up into the 70s. You might notice that the humidity is certainly higher out there. So we do have the fuel for thunderstorms, and that's why what you're seeing here is a tornado watch in that red color. That includes a decent chunk of the Kentuckiana viewing area. Our southern Indiana counties, Louisville Metro, down to Bardstown, E-Town, Hardinsburg, over to Frankfort as well. This is until 1 o'clock in the morning. So we are dealing with this for the next several hours here. Main really timeline for our severe weather potential through this evening and tonight is between now and 1 o'clock in the morning. So this is what we're looking at. Before we take a deeper dive at the radar, this is just kind of a very simplistic way to look at warnings, what we have going on here. So the yellow thunderstorm warnings, severe thunderstorm warnings, that means storms that are capable of producing at least 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, quarter-sized hail. Red, of course, tornado warnings. That means you're looking at a storm that's showing rotation on radar or potentially has been spotted by a storm spotter. And then green is flash flood warnings. I'm not expecting us to have much in the way of flash flood warnings this evening, but that could be something that we watch later on in the week because we are tracking a very busy week of storms. So big picture view, you can kind of tell where the bulk of the tornado warnings are far off to our southwest, basically Paducah into southeastern Missouri and into Arkansas as well. That's kind of where the best rotation currently is in this general area, and there have been confirmed tornadoes around Paducah and southeastern Missouri so far today. In terms of our neck of the woods, this is just north of our viewing area, but you might have friends. We did have a tornado warning that basically tracked from Bloomington over Columbus, Indiana, and is continuing to head that direction. So if you do have friends or family in this general area, Decatur County, Central Bartholomew County, this is until 8 o'clock tonight. Basically just looking at the potential for a tornado and damaging winds in excess of 70 miles per hour. This is once again radar indicated rotation that you're seeing there. But if I zoom back out to our viewing area, you can see here many of us not included in any warnings for now. Most of us, however, we are included in that tornado watch until 1 o'clock in the morning. Now, what's going to happen with this is, as with any severe weather event, especially a linear one like what we're seeing here, basically that cold front will be tracking from west to east. And what will happen is our westernmost counties will be able to be removed from that watch sooner than our eastern counties. So we'll have that kind of chip away throughout the evening. But let's take a look at the actual radar here because you can see storms, they are firing up. There's a lot of lightning within these storms, which means that really this line is moving into an area with a lot of energy. In fact, I can really query these lightning bolts here. And this shows you over 2,000 strikes. Now, of course, this is a very big area that we're looking at, but a lot of power to tap into. So even if, say, for instance, you don't have a severe thunderstorm warning with a storm that moves over your neck of the woods later on tonight, it's still going to probably be noisy with a lot of thunder, lightning flashes, heavy rainfall, the potential for hail as well. I know somebody asked about hail. That is a threat this evening. I was seeing it more so earlier rather than right now. I actually put a hail tracker on here, and you can see anywhere where you're seeing these blues, this is not in our area. This is Missouri and Arkansas. That's where you're seeing the big hailstones. We did see some reports, but I think that hail threat is starting to kind of die down a little bit. And what we will likely see from here on out is mainly a wind threat and potentially that isolated tornado threat. Because anytime you're seeing a line with this, straight line winds will be the primary severe weather threat. We're talking strong winds, which I do want to point out. I know a lot of people would rather see straight line winds than a tornado, and I totally understand. But I do want to reiterate that 70-mile-per-hour wind gust can do as much damage as, a low-end tornado. So I do want you to take any kind of severe thunderstorm warning as seriously as you would a tornado warning as well. You definitely want to get away from windows and just kind of hunker down until it passes. But this is what we're looking at here. Obviously, storms continuing to roll through southern Indiana right now. Just a few warnings on them. Once again, let me go back to the warning list. So in our area, we're looking near Seymour and Jasper. I can show you how long these are until 7:45 due to 60-mile-per-hour wind gust, half dollar-sized hail with that storm near Jasper. And then for the Seymour storms, this is until 8 p.m., 60-mile-per-hour wind gust, quarter-sized hail. So when you have 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, quarter-sized hail, that is basically the minimum for severe thunderstorm warnings. You can have upwards to 75, 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts. You can have hail the size of golf balls. I used to live in Nebraska. Sometimes we would have tennis ball size hail. So there are different severities of severe thunderstorm warnings, but both of these are for 60-mile-per-hour wind gust and quarter-sized hail. And I want to draw your attention to kind of the big scope of this particular storm system. You can see the severe weather outlook, which I know has been pasted all over social media the last several days, level 3 out of 5, really stretching from Michigan down to Louisiana. As this cold front continues to track through the area this evening and tonight. And in fact, we can take a look at the big picture view of the satellite and radar. I'm going to have to put on a different radar so it's not just the nearest. I always just like to give people the big picture view of what we're looking at. Once again, there's anywhere that you see a yellow polygon, that's a severe thunderstorm warning. Red polygon is a tornado warning. That's really stretching from Arkansas through southern Indiana right now, and then all the way up into Michigan. And then on the cold side of this, you have an ice storm ongoing in the Upper Peninsula and wraparound snow behind that. So long story short, that is a very powerful storm system that we are tracking here. All right, I'm sure many of you will have questions in terms of when is it expected to hit XYZ? This area, this area, this area. So this is obviously a model data, so you definitely want to take this with a grain of salt, but this kind of gives you the idea. I think it's lining up pretty well with where storms are right now. But these storms will continue to track east and southeast through the next few hours. So Louisville, I would say, what time is it now? 7:41. I would say between 8 and 10 or so if you're in the Louisville metro area. Obviously, if the line slows down at all, that will change. But this will continue to track east, southeastward. I think this model's a little too fast. You can see 9, 10, 11 o'clock moving toward Mumfordville, Campbellsville. And basically, once that main line moves through, you're in the clear. You might have rain behind that, but you always just want to pay attention to the leading line of something because that's where the winds are strongest. That's where you might have the hail, although that threat is decreasing a bit. And you can have that potential for a spin-up tornado. But this will move out by midnight, 1 a.m., which is good news, I think, because earlier in the week it looked like it could have been a totally nocturnal event where we were talking midnight to 4 a.m. or something. But this moves out by 1 a.m., so hopefully you all can still get some sleep behind this storm system. And then tomorrow will be quiet. It'll be mostly cloudy and chilly, but it will be quiet. We'll get some quiet weather in here for Tuesday as well. But then our pattern does ramp back up again. It's going to be a very busy week in the weather department here. For today, weather impact alert day, once again, basically now through about midnight. I may extend that to about 1 a.m. simply because that's what we're looking at for that tornado watch. And as with anything this time of year, make sure you have multiple ways to receive warnings. There's a QR code here. Of course, if you're watching from your phone, you can't take a picture, but you can search your app store for the WHAS 11 app. I know some people may have a weather radio. That is a great tool that can definitely wake you up in the middle of the night if there is a warning. Because those things are loud. But just a reminder, most of us included in that tornado watch, that means severe weather is possible. It means we have the right ingredients for severe weather. It means be prepared. A watch is issued for several hours over a bigger geographic location. A warning means severe weather is imminent or it's happening. You want to take shelter immediately. And those are usually much smaller for likely just a county or a portion of a county for a shorter period of time. Tornado warnings are usually issued for about a half hour or so. But you know, just a reminder for tornado safety, if you have a basement, that's the best place to go. I know not everybody has a basement, so you basically just want to get to the lowest level of the building that you're in, whether it's home or work, move into an interior room away from windows, and make sure you do cover your head. These are all good reminders to share with, you know, your kids, your family as well. Severe weather at night can be especially dangerous. So now is a good time to just have your cell phone charged. Usually want to do that before the storms roll in case you lose power and things of that nature. So make sure you have ways to wake up in case there's a warning. Now I do want to take a look ahead to the rest of the week because as I mentioned, we are not done with the active weather just yet. It's going to be a busy spring, it looks like around here. So we are tracking our next round of potential severe weather Wednesday. I'm not going to break down the specific timing on all of that because we're just going to take things one storm system at a time. But you definitely want to pay attention to the weather. I'd say Wednesday evening into Wednesday night for another cold front that could move through here. And unfortunately, that front is going to stall out. So what that means is we will have days of off and on showers and thunderstorms. You can see here very busy Thursday, Friday, Saturday, finally tapering off Sunday. And when you have days of rain like that, we could get 6+ inches of rainfall. That's when it will turn into less of a, quote, severe weather risk in terms of, you know, wind or hail or tornadoes and more of a flooding threat. So that's what I'll be worried about by this upcoming weekend. River flooding, flash flooding, that's going to be something that we watch. But as I mentioned, Wednesday, we're already included in this outlook for severe storms by the Storm Prediction Center. So it is just that time of year, I suppose. All right, let's loop back to the beginning for anybody who hopped on here a little late. Mallory Schnell, Chief Meteorologist here at WHAS 11 in Louisville, Kentucky. We've been walking through the radar with you, the hour-by-hour forecast, the next big thing that we're paying attention to later on in the week because unfortunately that weather pattern does stay busy. So I'm going to walk you through the radar one more time, kind of give you that idea of where storms currently are. We're going to take a look at the hour-by-hour forecast, and I want you to know that you'll see the scrolls across the crawls across the screen if you're looking at WHAS 11, which is the local ABC affiliate here in Louisville. And you'll notice severe thunderstorm warnings. You'll notice a tornado watch that continues to crawl. So typically we don't cut in to the programming unless there is a tornado warning, and then we go nonstop until that tornado warning has cleared that specific area. It can be anywhere in the Kentuckiana viewing area. And also if there's just a very strong severe thunderstorm, you might see me pop up, especially if it's in the Louisville metro area where we have a higher density of population. So keep that in mind. I might be popping up on your TV throughout the evening, hopefully not interrupting anything you really want to watch. But I will be here all night paying attention to this until that tornado watch has expired and until the storm system is off to our east and southeast. But let's start from the beginning and just kind of loop through these graphics one more time for you. So we are looking at this, once again, tornado watch in the red. And if you were watching earlier, I mentioned that once the storm pushes east and southeast, counties will be chipped away. And we're already seeing that around Bedford and Seymour, Indiana here. So once that cold front, once that line moves through, areas will continue to be chipped away from the tornado watch. So that's some good news that we're seeing already. We don't have too many active warnings right now. We have the one near Paoli and Jasper. So this one I think is a new one. This is until 8:15. Jasper, 12 miles west of English. It's moving northeastward at 40 miles per hour. This one does have the potential for ping pong ball sized hail. So heads up there. This is moving into Orange County, Crawford County. 60-mile-per-hour wind gust as well. And then the Seymour warning, this is until 8 p.m. Jackson and Jennings County. That's in our particular viewing area due to 60-mile-per-hour wind gust and quarter-sized hail. So let's look at, I want to take a look at the radar here. I'm going to turn off all of these lightning strikes because that's a bit overwhelming. Zooming in, definitely heavy rainfall. We have that severe thunderstorm warning. Obviously a lot of lightning, so these may wake you up if you go to bed anytime soon with all the lightning and thunder associated with them. But so far so good in the fact that we're not seeing additional tornado warnings. Don't let your guard down now, but just a heads up there. Okay, so a new severe thunderstorm warning on this one. I'm going to pause that and query this. This is until 8:15 for northwestern Harrison, west central Clark, northeastern Crawford County, southwestern Washington County. That's all in Indiana. You all are under this severe thunderstorm warning until 8:15. It's moving northeast at 45 miles per hour. And once again, this is for the baseline severe thunderstorm, which is 60-mile-per-hour wind gust and quarter-sized hail. So that's what we're looking at here with this latest warning there. I'm going to take a sip of water real quick. All right. I do want to see if anything pops up when I put hail. Not really. Let's see the radar estimation for this. Yeah. I mean, that's good. I don't like hail. Hail does a lot of damage. I mean, wind does too, but. All right. So here's a big picture view. Once again, this is all moving east, southeast. So we still have several hours where we're going to be watching this. We're under that tornado watch until 1 a.m. I will take you through the hour-by-hour forecast here. And, you know, if these, quote, behave themselves and we don't have any tornado warnings where I have to hop on air, you might see me do another one of these live streams later on this evening if we're just tracking severe thunderstorm warnings. So obviously, as I mentioned off the top, if these become tornado warnings, that's when I have to go on TV and stay on TV until that tornado warning has really expired or has been canceled. But you can see the timing here. So hour by hour, Louisville, we're looking between 8 and 10, I think. This continues to push east-southeastward through about midnight, 1 a.m. And then once that main line moves in, we will continue to chip away that tornado watch. But I will leave you with the big picture view of the radar. You can track the radar with the WHAS 11 app. We also have the radar, I believe, on our website. You can keep an eye on the warnings on air. We'll have that crawl going as long as it needs to be going on air this evening. But still to the northeast of Louisville, we have those few severe thunderstorm warnings in place. Clark, Crawford, Harrison, and Washington counties until 8:15. Boop. This one near Paoli until 7:15. Oh wait, Central Daylight Time. That makes sense. I still forget that we have Eastern and Central in this viewing area here. So those are until 8:15 or 7:15. For the next 25 minutes due to 60 mile per hour winds and quarter-sized hail. And then North Vernon and Seymour. Whew, there's a lot going on here. Let me pause that. Take away some of the noise here so it's a little bit easier to see. So Brownstown, Seymour, North Vernon, you're also included in a severe thunderstorm warning until 8 p.m. due to 60 mile per hour wind gusts, quarter-sized hail. So far these storms, you know, they're packing a punch. We're really just watching to see if any of them tap into any sort of rotation that would cause a tornado warning to be issued. So make sure you do have, once again, those ways to receive alerts because we are seeing severe thunderstorm warnings and those are impactful. And we still have this tornado watch in place until 1 o'clock in the morning. So thank you to everybody for hopping on here. I will probably do another one of these, as I mentioned, later on in the evening and bring you the latest update. As always, if there is a tornado warning anywhere in Kentuckiana, you'll see me pop on TV. We'll be streaming that as well to get you all the information that you need. But in the meantime, just keep an eye on the radar and keep an eye on the warnings in case they do fire up this evening and tonight. Stay weather alert. We'll get through this and then we'll tackle the next storm potential later on in the week. So hope you all do have a nice evening. Stay safe, stay weather alert, and we will chat soon.